Hey there. Today I'd like to explore a very interesting, unexpected, but also challenging occurrence which will happen if you attend retreats or you're part of a school of self-development. If you have already been involved in this form of training for quite a while, it may well be that as I continue to describe the topic of this video, it'll be familiar territory and you'll recognize everything I say. For you, this is a wonderful chance to reflect on your past experiences and prepare to be more skillful and more strategic in your approach in the future. For others who haven't experienced this will be a wonderful way to be aware of a probable occurrence and to get your strategies in place in mind so that you can benefit and bring benefit in that situation. So imagine this. You've put a lot into getting where you are. It may be you've travelled a very long distance for a retreat. It's in a beautiful place or in a distant country. Or it may be that you've invested time and money into training to get to a point where you've got the right teacher. Perhaps it's just that finally fate or the right form of guidance has brought you into the tradition or the practices that you know are home for you. It's easy to picture how in this circumstance you would meet just the right people. Around you, you find people who are really in tune. They've got the same goals as you. Perhaps it's like meeting them again, and like you knew them in a different time. They are great allies, and when they learn, you learn, and you lift each other up. But then something unexpected happens. There is someone in your vicinity involved in the same training with the same teachers who you just can't stand. The qualities they have just get under your skin. And it seems to be just the luck that you need to have contact with them. It's hardly ever the case that they are at a distance and you see them now and again. No, they're sleeping next to you, or they're in the same group as you, or you're working together for some reason. And if you were to be able to look at the qualities in you, they represent the elements which you are seeking to control, but they don't have that control. So they just press your buttons. Now we can kind of see how this would work, why this could happen, but in the moment, you wouldn't see that. For you, this person is vile, and they're disruptive, and their actions and their attitude is all wrong. You're on a silent retreat and there's someone whispering in your ear and asking for help or complaining all the time. They make you look bad because you've got to keep answering or you've got to ignore them, and no option is ideal. They've got the morals or the attitude or the way of doing things which is not in tune with what you're doing here. You can't understand why they're attending. It makes you question the teacher. Why would they have this person as a student? The tradition. If this is what the tradition attracts, do I want to be part of it? It's really challenging. If you take some time to reflect, however, you can start to see how this circumstance could be, though uncomfortable, an advantage. First and foremost, if you apply some compassion, you can see how actually someone with a lot to develop, to change, to heal, to evolve, would be in a circumstance like this. if you believe the tradition can bring evolution and regeneration, they're in the right place. We can also have a bit of compassion that there may be things that you interpret in a certain way, and they may have the same interpretation. So for them, you being completely silent is being literal and too strict and not in keeping with the kind spirit or something like that. You might be that person for someone else there. So how do we best deal with this? Well, we can use that compassion and kindness and understanding. Whatever is going on with that person probably is going to take many hours of practice or help and therapy to solve. So the first principle you should have is this: trust in the teacher, trust in the system. You are not there to fix them. So engage as little as possible. And the more challenging you're finding it, the less you should go into it, that you should focus on your own work and treat any distraction as part of that training. How do you deal with that? In the same way, if you were meditating and it started to rain, how you would deal with that, how you'd focus and go further inside, or if you had inner challenges, you had to calm down. There are circumstances where you need to keep focused through disruption in your training. This is a good opportunity. So make sure that you follow the yogic principle that says that towards all things that you think are negative or contrary to evolution, you are detached. You don't want to give it any attention. You don't want to water that plant. You don't want to fan those flames. You are going to remain detached. So unless it's causing danger or something that does involve you need to step in, there's a certain line you can imagine, you are going to just remain austere and distant. Anything neutral, which is just time wasting, the same. What you are going to do for this person and for yourself is this. If you're at the point where you're capable, so this is when you've got this much control, you will genuinely from the heart, encourage the good bits. When they engage with the teachings, when they make progress, if there is a means for you to legitimately support that in your actions, in your presence, in your mind, in your words, you will. And you will understand that there may be a reason that you are in contact. To begin with, people, as I said, question the teacher or the system. What if you were put in the room with that person as a good example? What if this is not an act of thoughtlessness or disdain from the school or the teacher, but of trust? As someone who is very disciplined has been put with someone who needs to learn that discipline, or someone who's very kind has been put with someone that needs to learn that kindness. So you are to view this person who for you is vile and abhorrible as part of your training. To ignore and remain resolute in your practice when it comes to the negative things. If they make noise, if they're disruptive, if they have the wrong attitude, you are going to just let that pass by. But you will strongly represent those things that you know need to happen. You will be the example. Your teacher has probably put you in that situation to be the example. If it isn't your teacher, it is fate. And know that the lessons that they are learning may well be reflected in you. That's why they drive you so crazy. So you've got a chance to truly master them because of their disruption because of their bad example. Correct your mind and know that this is an opportunity. Use compassion to make the best of the circumstance, not just for you, but for them too. My name's Martin Folks, and I hope that this video is of use to anyone who's in a retreat or part of a school who comes into the circumstance I describe when they are challenged and disrupted by a student that they don't believe is setting a good example. Until next time, let's let every word, thought, and action count.